Hello, and again, welcome to Bit Depth. I'm Santiago Ramones. Not across from me, but across from me through the power of the internet. Who are you?
Ted Tamayo.
Yeah. This is my first through the internet podcast. Hopefully it is of decent enough quality, but this is the way we got to do it sometimes. So who are you? What do you do?
Tamayo, I like to think of myself as a guitar player, but really, I guess I'm just a student of the instrument, and someone who likes to make music. Maybe one day we'll make a career at it. Other than that, I guess I've had a couple of titles: soldier, student, a lot of different things. Really, pre-seminarian. At one point, I was considering going to a seminary.
Whoa. I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
So which of these things do you consider to be your main thing?
I guess really guitar. I mean, my approach to the instrument is a little bit monastic in a way. Kind of like life's pursuit sort of thing, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I decided if I'm going to do one thing, I want it to be guitar and to reach the best levels that I can personally, and not let really anything stop me from that.
Yeah.
Including my family's sanity at times. When I'm playing the same lick for the 9 millionth time and they get me on the whole time,
Yep.
So, like, I guess
it's like meditation in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it's cathartic in a lot of ways. I think, especially when you get into, more rhythmic stuff, right hand picking, walking in with a metronome, I feel like that's really, one of the more kind of euphoric moments for me personally, because it goes beyond self-expression. It becomes a part of you, and even if you're not as good at it as other people, it's still an extension of yourself, and I think that's the goal ultimately.
Yeah.
By that I mean monastic. It's like watching kung fu movies. What's the secret of the fist and stuff like that.
Right.
I think it's the same thing.
So when did you start playing guitar?
I've been playing guitar, since I was 15. I knew some open chords, campfire stuff. Nothing really, like what would come later. But so I guess you could say 16 years. But if I wanted to be serious, I took it up really, really seriously in Iraq in about 2008. So about 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. 10 years seriously. 16, casually. 8 casually, 10 seriously. So.
Yeah.
Well, that math is wrong. You know what I mean?
We're musicians, not mathematicians.
Yeah.
So what made you really start playing? And then also, you might want to explain the fact that, hey, why were you in Iraq?
Well, I was in Iraq, 19 kilo as a tank gunner. Well, I wasn't a gunner when I was in Iraq. I was, just a private. But, high school, gifted and talented, sophomore slump, did really great through elementary school, really great through middle school, and then crapped out in high school. couldn't really get into college. Couldn't do a lot of things. So it just seemed like, good thing to do.
Are you particularly patriotic?
I guess when I was younger, it kind of gets programmed into you a bit. I come from a military family too.
Oh, okay.
I guess it depends on what your definition of patriotism is. I saw I saw one, like patriotism. One definition on the internet, patriotism is making a country that you can be proud of, and then, like,
Right.
some people consider it being proud of your country no matter what, which I think is bullshit. That's a really terrible way to look at things. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a lot of terrible things happen. All countries, all
Mhm.
governments have done terrible things.
Sure.
Every single one of them. So I mean, it's not wholly unfair wholly fair to just be like, oh, America was the shittiest country, blah blah. 'Cause
Hmm.
the Dutch were fucking over black people. The Germans are fucking over black people.
Right.
Yeah, everybody was being hella shit to everybody. That doesn't mean you get to just give them a free pass for it either.
Right.
So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, America is the shittiest country. But like there are things that need to be acknowledged.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
that's really where I stand. Like in terms of like the people and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that America has done something great with like its diversity and its general tolerance towards people of a lot of different creeds and stuff like that.
Right.
But blind obedience, blind love. I'm not really about that.
Right. Well, I'm happy to hear that. um, especially lately. We might get into that later. But so you're deployed, you're picking up the guitar. What made you really start taking it seriously?
It was a record by Necrophagus. It's called Epitaph. Came out in about 2004, so 4 years after I was in the Army.
Mm-hmm.
Because 4 years before I was in the Army, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I had never heard it. I'd never really gotten past like Metallica was like the heaviest stuff that I was listening to at the time. I was System of a Down,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that was like what I was into in high school.
Right.
Ride the Lightning was my favorite album. So I mean, it's not like I wasn't aware of metal,
Right.
But when Epitaph came on and the first song Stabloon, which is a song I'm still trying to learn to this day, it just blew my mind. It was like I was like, I want to do that. That's what I want to do. And I mean, I was 20 years old, so late bloomer. But at this point, like I don't really care. I'm where I'm at on my journey.
Yeah.
But I heard that and I was like, that's what I want to do. And so I got this crappy acoustic guitar from it's a Bazaar we call the Hajimar, which is kind of racist in retrospect, but it was the Bazaar that they had. So I bought the guitar. And it was like $100. Had action sky high. I didn't know how to do anything with guitar at all because I'd only just played the ones my dad had laying around.
Mm.
And just got started. Just started trying to teach myself how to play. Got tabs, tried to play easier stuff, and didn't look back. Just kept going. What
was one of the first things that you tried playing on that $100 sky high action guitar?
There's a Chiodos song. Do you guys remember them?
Yeah.
Chiodo. I don't remember the name of the song. It was on the album with. I haven't listened to Chiodos in like 7 years. Probably about almost as long as since I tried to learn the song. It was off of All's Well That Ends Well. I'm pulling it up now. It was the one with the dude in the boat and something all epic. It was One Day Women Will All Become Monsters. That is a really concerning title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sign of the times.
It may have been Baby You Wouldn't Last a Minute on the Creek. I can't remember. It was one of these two terrifying, vaguely rapey songs.
Right. So, I mean, do you consider having a guitar, especially, was it an acoustic guitar?
Yeah, it was a shitty acoustic guitar. It was an Epiphone, black with like cream-colored pinstriping. I gave it to the rec center when I left Iraq. But yeah.
So, I mean, playing like metal shreddy stuff on an acoustic guitar, it's people sort of like kung
Oh
fu
no, it
speak
wasn't.
about
It
how
wasn't any. It wasn't any accomplishing any of that. There was. It was. It was just garbage. It was total
right.
trash. Yeah, like I didn't understand anything. I probably didn't even really understand how to practice guitar until maybe 3 years ago. Like it was well after college, well after
Right.
music school that I really discovered the proper way to practice.
All right, so like after messing around some on your crappy acoustic guitar, where did you go from there?
So I got back from Iraq, made a ton of money in Iraq.
Hmm.
So you don't have any bills.
Right.
Well, I was single, I didn't have any bills. I just a lot of money. I bought a really expensive Ibanez. It was an
Okay.
S series 540. Yeah, it was like a $1,700 guitar.
You still have it?
Nope. Sweet guitar. I ended up trading it 6 months after getting back for free lessons.
Okay.
Because I had plenty of sweet guitars. I missed that one. I miss all. No, I have none of these guitars left. None of these guitars still left. But I traded that sweet guitar for some lessons from his name is Mike Hill in San Anderson Music.
Okay.
In Hinesville, Georgia. So for free lessons, just lessons whenever I want them. So that kind of got me started, getting a more directional focus toward playing. I wish I still had that guitar. But that's where that went next. My dad always wanted to play guitar. He's a fan of guitar. He plays a little bit, not much, but he's a big fan of guitar. And he'll kind of look and see what my tastes are at the time. Because I've had, several iterations of my taste before settling into what I think is probably going to be my permanent taste.
Sure.
But, when I was in the Strats, he would buy a ton of Strats because he's just loaded. And then, like, when I was in the Les Pauls, he bought a couple Les Pauls. They're more expensive than Strats, so we didn't get as many of those.
Right.
And then, I've been playing shred-style, hot-rodded guitars. They're Strat-shaped, humbuckers and a Floyd Rose 24 frets. I've been playing those for a few years, and he's just slowly been buying more and more of them. I'm actually working on one that he bought now, trying to get it intonated.
So then, I'm assuming there's like some more steps between that and going to ACM.
So, I just, took those lessons for about 7 months, and I transferred units from a combat unit to moving into computers. I re-enlisted to move into a computer job.
Okay.
Because I wanted to have some sort of skill after the Army, because I decided, I want to go to music school.
Yeah.
I was just like, I want to go to music school. It was originally going to be AIM, Atlanta Institute of Music, or I don't know if you hear my kid.
It's fine.
Part
Part of the reason as to why this is through the internet.
Yeah, it was originally going to be AIM, Atlanta Institute of Music, which, for those of you who are into modern progressive guitar, may know that Bossy of Animals' Leaders went to that school. Which actually ties in over the story. So it's going to be AIM or it's going to be GIT in California. So I had this idea, this goal, like if I want to be a great musician, I have to go to music school.
Right.
So, I found a teacher to teach me the stuff that I saw was the requirements in Atlanta Institute of Music. So that's kind of where my focus got started. And I learned scales, I learned how to build chords, a little bit of like music reading, a little bit of rhythmic theory, So I had a leg up on all the other like Army guitarists, like bedroom shredders and stuff.
Right.
It's because I started to learn a little bit of theory, and I got a little better, And Dunning Kruger kicked in, and I thought I was a lot better than I was.
Sure.
So I ended up transferring to Augusta, Georgia, units. I went from Hinesville, Georgia to Augusta, Fort Stewart to Fort Gordon. And I didn't have a guitar teacher here, but I made a really good friend who was into guitar, who kind of pushed me to develop and stuff like that. And he was in a band called Radar Cinema, who were real influenced by the Mars Volta.
Okay.
and he lives in Tennessee now. He lives in Nashville now. I actually need to hit him up. But yeah, so he was kind of another major influence on me. So we got Mike Hill. We've got this guy's name was William Duckworth. I'll call him Ducky. Will or Ducky. He was all about he hates metal. He hates shred.
Oh, okay.
So he was real into like weird chord voicings and like progressive rock, all like King Crimson and stuff.
So you got like a different style.
Yeah, I learned a little bit more about like, chord playing and stuff like that. But he wasn't really a teacher. It was more of like passive connections, And I just kind of picked up more and more like theory from him because he was really big on like building funky chords. So I picked up a little bit more on that. So around this time, a couple years go by, I actually ended up playing a couple shows. I got really into acoustic playing, and I stopped like metal of what my original goal was. I kind of got in like river and a bunch of stuff like this. Yeah, there's probably some crappy videos of me on the internet floating around trying to horribly butcher my way through some songs just to get girls to like me. So,
as every musician does.
Yeah, it's probably a solid year of like a lack of really, really good progress. But I mean, I was still playing music. I was still in the guitar.
Sure.
So around this time, I go and I check out Atlanta Institute of Music, and this is around the time 8-string guitars are kind of becoming popular. So I picked up one. I got an Ibanez RG 2228, which if you're in the know, it's one of the best production 8-strings ever made. Okay. Had absolutely no idea what to do with it. So I find out about this guy named Josh Martin of the band Little Tidy. Tidy Island is an island, off Georgia, South Carolina. Little Tidy as rumor has it, a unexploded nuclear bomb. It's a sandbar called Little Tidy. And, urban legend is that it's an unexploded nuclear bomb. So that's where the band name comes from. Okay. Josh Martin is one of the people you look up on the internet back in 2008, 8-string guitar. He's one of the people thumping away and tapping and doing all this crazy 8-string stuff. Okay. Turns out he lives in Atlanta. So I hit him up for a few lessons. Josh Martin has gotten a little bit more celebrity in the music world recently. Okay. But I don't think he remembers me or anything. But he was friends with Tosin Abasi. And they both went to Atlanta Institute of Music. So I had pretty much decided I was going to go to Atlanta Institute of Music after taking a couple lessons with him. And went and toured the school and all this stuff. I was getting ready to discharge from my knees being bad because I blew up both my knees in Iraq.
Oh, jeez.
It's okay. So I blew up both my knees. I'm getting ready to discharge. And I am toured Atlanta Institute of Music, and my mom lets me know about ACM. So I look into ACM. Not a lot of info on the curriculum. It's a brand new school. Right. Not a lot of info on what they teach, who goes there, stuff like that. So I'm just assuming it's, it's like GIT. It's probably like AIM. It's like any other music school. I knew about the ACM in London. Right. I knew Guthrie Govan taught there. And we all know he shreds, So, I just assumed it'd be like that. So I was like, well, hey, I'm from Oklahoma. I was born in Enid. I won't have to pay out of state here. I'll get to pocket a lot of money for my GI Bill. Yeah. Why don't I just go to this school? Right. So, I do the audition. I get the tape done. I send it in. I'm real nervous. You can actually see my audition tape. It's on my Facebook.
Oh.
pretty terrible. Yeah. I mean, it's not completely horrid, but it's not great. You know.
I mean, I'm sure everyone's audition material to get into music school is like, you know, you haven't gone to music school yet. So
I mean, I've seen some people play Dream Theater and all kinds of crazy shit. So, you know, definitely not an A-tier guitar player. Definitely not an A-tier guitar player now. So, like, you know, it's as you would expect. It was like a Thin Lizzy kind of thing. You know, it was like mixed with the Sword, which were bands I was digging at the time.
Okay.
So I get in. You know, I'm real nervous. You know, because I didn't know at this time that ACM didn't even look at the audition tapes. So, like, you know, I was nervous. But I got in, you know, and so I moved here. And went through ACM, went through the bachelor program. And after that, really, you know, I was a little disenchanted because I was thinking I was going to be a great shredder by the end of it, you know, and, like, go through the school and, you know, like, 90% of the time I didn't even have a guitar in my hand during class. So like I wasn't really happy with that. And after I graduated, I got hooked up with Paul Ozanov. I don't know how you say his last name. It's Belgian or no, it's not Belgian. God, he's gonna hate me for this.
I couldn't tell.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where he's Bulgarian. That's what it is, Bulgarian. We just call him Paul Oz, but he's the great Paul Oz, fantastic, unbelievable guitar player, extremely talented, extremely skilled. I get hooked up with him. He sees this death metal thing that I posted on a guitar forum. Mm-hmm. He tells me it's really heavy, blah, blah, blah. You know, oh, man, this is really cool. And I befriend him on Facebook, and, you know, I find out he does mentorship, and he does guitar lessons, and he's from Canada. So I got linked up with him, and I went through his mentorship program, and, you know, after graduating, he's one of my best friends. Cool. You know, I talk to him all the time about just like everything. Yeah. You know, and my playing exploded. I'm way better than I was before. I actually can, you know, kind of be proud of the bachelor's degree on my wall now. I feel like I deserve it, you know. So really I owe a lot of that to Paul. And that's really kind of where my guitar journey got to now. You know, now I'm more focusing on, like, I understand everything on how to improve in terms of, like, how to improve myself. Like, I don't need somebody to, like, show me how to do something. Sure, you know what I mean? Like, I can just teach myself now. Yeah. And I understand exactly how practice is supposed to work, and, you know, like, basically how the instrument works enough to the point where, like, what's a guitar lesson going to do for me? Right. You know? Like, you know, you can show me a cool lick, you know, but, like,
yeah, but it's you know how to learn and teach yourself at this point, I guess.
Yeah, and, like, really do it, not like the Ernie Ball guitar book for the guitar beginners teach yourself method. Go away.
So what's something that, I mean, I feel like there's this perception of, like, the rock star ideal of, like, oh yeah, like the guitarist just, like, goes up on stage, shreds, and then, like, you know, leaves, goes to a party, drinks, and, you know, whatever. But, like, there's a whole lot of practicing that at least should be going on.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the guitarist, you know, nobody shreds without practicing.
Yeah. You
know, I mean, you know, Yngwie Malmsteen has to say he doesn't practice, but the man eats, shits, and breathes guitar. You know, like, he may just be having fun, but, you know, it's still practice. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And practice is fun. You know, for me now, I just like to play guitar. You know, like, I don't get really frustrated with things anymore, even if they're, you know, damn near impossible. You know, it's just like, well, I'll have that down in 6 months. You know, I can just think of it like that at this point. You know, it's all fun. You know? Yeah. So like, you know, imagine someone like Yngwie Malmsteen who reached level that he is. You know, he probably just enjoys playing guitar for the euphoric feeling of it, you know, being a master or something, you know. So, I mean, I don't know if, like, I don't drink. I don't really do drugs, you know. Like, I smoke weed maybe once every 9 months. You know, I feel like it. You know, I don't drink beer. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do any of that. You know, I skipped a lot of parties, ACM to practice, you know.
And you're the better musician for it.
I mean, maybe. We'll see. Who knows? Who knows?
So kind of a question that has come up, I think, more than once on the podcast, is rock dead?
You know, that's actually really interesting. I was talking to my friend Preston Gondal from the band Among the Missing about this just earlier today. There's no creativity in rock at all anymore. I mean, it's used up. You know, in an essence of, like, if you have a rock band that comes out now, you know, a radio rock band, it's all trying to rip off Metallica's The Black Album and Nirvana mixed together.
Sure.
You know, yeah. 3 Days Grace, Shinedown, Alter Bridge.
Right.
These are all kind of interchangeable bands, you know, personality list, you know, in my opinion. You know, like, but you have someone who shall not be named going up pretending to be Axl Rose, you know, playing bad Collective Soul riffs, you know, like, and like, what more can you do with rock, you know, without becoming something else,
right?
You know, like, it's just like, you know, my friend used the term "hell yeah, brother." You know, he was something it's really rocking. You know, you have to just go "hell yeah, brother." You know, it's just, you don't really hear that in rock anymore without being watered down metal, you know? And like, as guys who are into rock get better at their instruments, they just become metal bands. You know, so like, as a genre, rock is kind of dead in a way. You know, I mean, who's really relevant as a rock band now? You know?
Yeah.
Like Arctic Monkeys, but they were a punk band and now they're a soul band. You know, like, there's no just like rock. There's like Greta Van Fleet, but they
is kind of
Foo Fighters. You know, I mean, like, that's kind of a rock band, you know. But like, listen to, they had that song "Rope," which is, you know, watered down metal song. You know, like, not really. When's the last time the Foo Fighters were actually relevant? And not in like the way, like, oh, they're the elder statesmen of alternative rock, you know, but like, you know.
Well, I mean, that time that Dave Grohl broke his leg and still did the rest of the tour. That's pretty rock and roll, but it's like, I don't know if they're like saving rock and roll yet.
I mean, Dave Grohl is great. He's awesome. And Foo Fighters have some wonderful tunes. But I mean, like, Kanye West can fart, and it's a more relevant track.
Sure. Well, you know, he basically did recently, so.
Yeah, he did, and people are talking about it a lot.
So.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, what kind of rock band can release VH2? You know, like Van Halen 2. You know, what kind of album will come out that'll blow everybody's mind like VH2 did?
Right.
And that'll be legitimately rocking, you know?
So, with that, where does it go from here then? Does it just continue to seclude itself into more metal, more hardcore, more... Where is it going?
I mean, I don't really listen to too much rock. You know, I'm more of a metal fan for sure.
Right.
I think Volbeat was probably the most original rock band that has come out in a while. I'm pretty sure they had members of Anthrax. You know, it's obvious metal influence there, but, you know, I don't know where the Psycho Elvis vocals came from. But like, You know, I mean, rock is a radio format, and radio is fucking dead.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like now everybody can choose what music they listen to. So, you know, like you don't have to put up with, you know, Alice in Chains, great band. You know, they had the sludge elements, the shoegaze elements in like Jar of Flies and, you know, stuff like that. No, not Jar of Flies. Sludge Factory had some of the shoegazy elements and like the sludge metal elements and stuff like that. Now you don't have to listen to that on the radio. You can just listen to whatever the hell you want on your Spotify playlist, or your Apple Music. You know, so like a reaching genre like rock, you know, doesn't have the appeal that it used to because you can listen to the specialized genres that you prefer.
Exactly.
You know? So it's like it doesn't matter. You know, like mass appeal is no longer something that matters. Niche appeal is what matters.
Yeah.
You know, look at like slamming death metal. It's chromatic, ugly, misogynistic, gore lyrics. Oh, I mean, and it is. You know, I mean, I had to grapple with that for a lot, but the genre is a misogynistic genre in essence. Most of the songs about cutting girls up. Like that's there's no getting around that. You know, no amount of navel gazing is going to get around the fact that you have a song called "Slice Her Tits Off." You know, but something like that, as dumb and niche and inaccessible as that, is exploding because of the internet. Because people find a niche that they enjoy and then swallow it up. Dungeon synth. I don't know if you ever heard of dungeon synth.
Mm-mm.
It's black metal aesthetics. You know, so like black and white album art, bleak, depressive aesthetics like this, but it's like it's Casio synthesizers making like what I would say like music for a Dungeons and Dragons session. It sounds funny. It's pretty cool. I like Dungeon Synth a lot, actually.
Yeah.
But it's just this totally bizarre niche genre.
Yeah.
That is flourishing in Bandcamp. You know, like these things can exist because of the internet. So like, you talk about like Led Zeppelin or something like that. You know, Led Zeppelin is a rock band, right?
Sure.
But really, they're a psychedelic rock band. You know, there's a lot of psychedelic influence in them, spacey sounds. Since I've Been Loving You is, you know, terrifying and soundscapey and, you know, claustrophobic. You know, like it's not a rock song. It would be a niche song. You know, I mean, it's not like 3 Days Grace is going to put out a fucking Since I've Been Loving You cover.
Sure.
You know, with their guitarist coked out of his mind, you know, playing the same blues lick over and over, but still ruling because you don't understand why. It's just amazing. That's what like Led Zeppelin's like, you know? So like something like that is totally dead. Not going to recreate that. Rock has been taken over by the main and it's commercialized crap. Niche appeal is where the creativity is coming from. And people are okay with bands that don't reinvent the wheel. Dissection, the black and death metal band from Sweden, I think, has been broken up for years. There's a band called Thulkundra that's entire purpose is to write new Dissection songs. Like there's total Dissection worship. They sound exactly the same. And everybody's totally fine with that because it's good Dissection rip-off songs. You know? So these are the kinds of things that like music is headed to now. Niche genres. Just listening to what you want instead of making compromises on what you want. You know? It's
that brings me to my next question. I mean, you bring up Spotify and Bandcamp and stuff. So, how do musicians make a living now? If they even can.
Shit, you tell me, man. I've never been paid for a gig. Not once. I played the Diamond. It's not a big deal. You know, not like a giant gig or anything, but I mean, it's a gig you'd think you'd get paid for.
Sure.
I think maybe we did get paid, and like, I'm pretty sure my band kept the money, and like that band, I don't know. I don't really care.
It's always a negligible amount, anyways, for
probably
to split between 4 or 5 people.
Yeah, you know, I mean, full metal band, 5 people, 2 guitars, bass, drums, singer. You know, so like, I feel like it would have to be a multimedia approach, lessons, nickel and diamond gigs
Yeah.
here and there, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
My uncle plays in a Tejano band down in South Texas. I know he brings in like $10K a year from it.
Wow.
So like
Enough
he's
to
doing
pay
okay.
taxes.
Yeah. I mean, he's playing Tejano, it's basically just jazzed up polka.
Mm-hmm.
But like, like he does another band for the Cruisers. He makes like another 10,000 a year from.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like cover bands probably a good way to make money, but
You also have to be a cover band.
I'm not gonna hate on the cover band. I think you can be an artful cover band. Like Little Kiss, the Dwarf Kiss band, I think is pretty cool. The Iron Maidens, Led Zeppelin, like you can be a cool cover band. Like I'm not gonna just hate on a cover band, but yeah, you'd have to be in a cover band,
Right? And I'm not necessarily hating on cover bands. It's just that like I wouldn't want to just be a cover band.
Yeah, like my uncle doesn't make his own music. I don't think he didn't even really have any desire to. I don't think he does. I think he's totally fine with what he's doing. Right. He just likes playing music. But like, I don't even know if I wouldn't even go so far as to say that I have to play my own songs, because I feel like my dream gig would just to be the lead guitarist of some band.
Sure.
Where I don't have to write any music. I just write solos. Like I would be totally fine with that.
Sure.
So like, I can't knock him. I mean, if you just want to play notes, dude, do it.
Yeah. And then sort of a vaguer, more philosophical style question, because I always do this to people. Why do you want to do music?
I don't know. Look cool, I guess. Like, it's hard to explain, I guess like I'm not gonna fucking die before I can play Stab Wound by Necrophagus, like I've literally like had, I got like major depressive disorder, I'm 70% disabled because of it, so like I've had some rough fucking nights,
yeah.
where literally the only thing keeping me going is like, I'll be damned if I die before I nail this fucking song.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's like a stubborn, I can do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to die with my friends flexing on me being better than I am. Like it's a little bit of a, I guess, a competitive edge.
Sure. Sure.
But I mean, at the same time, like I like expressing myself. I like music in general. And I think if you want to get like real deep into it, we're all vibrating matter. And sound is vibrating air. It has a real scientific effect on you when you hear music, when you feel music. I guess some of us just want to make some of that.
Yeah.
How do you really explain it? Why does a painter paint?
Sure.
It's a combination of they're good at it and they want to.
Yeah.
That's about it, really.
Right. I'm not looking for an actual explanation, but just to talk about it. So yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Badly transitioning, or I guess a dog howl into this next half of the podcast. What is the role of spirituality or religion in your life?
Well, I mean, I kind of go back and forth on the God thing, especially concerning like the Christian mythos. Some days I'm pretty sure there's probably a God. Might even be a Christian God. Some days not so convinced. I know you can't oppress people based on if you feel like there's somebody there. I'm not a big fan of that. But I mean, my own translation or like my own interpretation of like that. I mean, it says right there in the Ten Commandments, "Thou shalt not use my name in vain." And I feel like a lot of people like think you're not supposed to say like "God damn" or something like that, but I've always interpreted that personally as don't say you're doing something in the name of God
Right.
if it's like a horrible thing to do. If it's anything
Sure.
to do, like that's not your place to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like, about people, and so I guess in like the role of like laying awake at night and like tossing and turning and having an existential crisis, I guess it's pretty important. But in like the day-to-day life, especially growing up Catholic, it's not really something that's a huge major part of me.
Mm.
Besides that like wonderful Catholic guilt I got.
Yeah, no,
Which,
I sympathize with that. I too was raised Catholic.
yeah. Which I think it's great. I'd rather, feel guilty than, be like a Baptist and be a judgy asshole.
Shots are being fired.
This is a very generalized shots. These aren't really meant. Yeah.
Well, it still had some sort of impact in your life, obviously, and even if there are times when you don't feel like there may be a God, or there may be, how does that sort of shape your morality and your behavior, how you treat other people?
I feel like the overarching theme in most religions, to be fucking good to each other in a general sense.
Mm-hmm.
You look at like the Sermon on the Mount, a little bit of Buddhist teachings of what I've perused,
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. Generally, we're all supposed to be cool with each other,
Yeah.
So I feel like that's probably a good idea to try to do that, considering, like everything tells us to.
Yeah.
All of our.
How do you be good? What is good?
Yeah, that's kind of tough. Like what really is,
Mm.
you can't let people hurt you, obviously, but at what extent do you hurt them? Do you hurt them back? You shouldn't. I don't think you should.
Right.
I think forgiveness, that's a big part of Christianity, is turn the other cheek, forgive, things like that. I try to live like that. Jesus is pretty rad. He's a pretty rad guy. He wasn't telling you to kill gay people.
Right.
So yeah, he seems pretty cool. Do what he says.
Right. And then if you don't mind me bringing it up, how does that sort of relate to your experience through the military, and how has that sort of shaped I guess who you are now and morally and stuff, because there's obviously a lot of moral implications relating to the military.
Yeah, when you're a kid, 19 to 20, 21, you kind of doing what you're told, you kind of have to come to grips with things that you were doing there, the part that you played in what was more than likely, an illegal war that didn't help anybody, like, we set up a hospital for kids, and, we got a school set up, and we passed out water filters and stuff like that.
Which is good.
there was a guise of a humanitarian effort. I try to hold on to that kind of stuff, and then like nothing you can do about, whatever now, So like, I guess just move forward and try to make amends,
Yeah. And then, how does that worldview, I guess? Oh, wait, I have a couple straightforward questions that I always ask, and I need to remember to ask them. One, God, question mark.
What about it?
Well, I guess so. Does God exist to you, obviously? And I guess, what is your definition of God?
We talked about we're all vibrating matter. Taking a couple philosophy classes, a few ethics classes, one of my math classes, one of our professors was like, it's really starting to look like, there's an organizational theme to everything,
Hmm.
which again, I mean, it's a human nature to assign order to things,
Hmm.
even if that order actually isn't present. So you can't really fully trust something like that, you know,
Yeah.
in my opinion, anyways. But, at the same time, I think there's an old philosophical question that no one has been able to counter. It's like, there's no point to life if no God exists.
Hmm.
It's just what points you make,
Yeah.
you know. But if there is a God, there is an actual purpose. But if not, there's no real purpose. There's purposes we assign,
Sure.
you know. So, like, at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure he's not going to care if you're cranking it in the bathroom, dude. So I think he's safe.
Right. The universe is pretty big
Yeah.
for that to matter a whole lot. Uh, and then free will question mark. Again, do we have free will? But also, what is your definition of free will?
I mean, I think we probably do. I mean, you get into like multiverse theories, stuff like that. Like you can get pretty dumb. These are the things that like can keep you up at night. But at the end of the day, you still have to get up and go to work tomorrow.
Sure.
So
um, and then another one that I actually keep meaning to ask, but I forget to is always in your opinion is the predisposition of humans to be evil and violent, or are we actually good and sort of taught to be bad?
uh, I think that's like a multifaceted thing. Like I think you have a genetic predisposition that can be nurtured out. And vice versa. I think every human being is different. I
Hmm.
mean,
So
I
more
mean,
tabula
there's
rasa.
yeah. I mean, there's you talking about the blank slate. Yeah, there's serial killers raised by loving families.
Right.
I mean, there's serial killers who are basically raised in a perfect environment to create a monster.
Mm-hmm.
So like you don't really know. You
Right.
never really know. I mean, genetic capacity. It's like fitness.
Mm.
People have a genetic capacity for a certain level of fitness.
Sure.
Most people do not reach the peak of their genetic capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So likely, there is some sort of pre-programming, I think,
Mm-hmm.
within everybody. But the major role that it plays is probably not very high.
Yeah.
Like who really knows? I mean, you've got people who go to school for their entire lives who don't fucking know the answers to these questions.
Sure.
Like, do I think humanity on a whole is bad? Probably not. I mean, most people are just living their day-to-day lives. The big catastrophes and horrible events were committed by very few people.
Sure.
And most of those people, like Holocaust stuff like that, people following orders, they're scared because it's living nature, and it's natural to follow the leader.
Mm.
Do they get a free pass? Hell no. That was terrible. But
Right.
the orchestrators of this event, there's very few people who did these things.
Mm-hmm.
So like humanity on the whole evil, probably not. Misguided, more likely.
Okay. I like that. And then I don't know if I want to get into the politics of things. Um, well, yeah. Lately we've been seeing a battle going on between sort of. I mean, you can call it conservative and liberal, but it's also a bit of like we should care about each other, or no, we don't really have to care about each other.
Yeah.
Uh, so I guess one direction that I'm asking this question is sort of how how do you think we got here with the epitome of selfishness being the most powerful person on the planet? How do we get here?
I think it's a combination of things. They always are. You know, had 8 years of moderately liberal, which, you know, if you listen to the other side, you know, the most liberal fucking thing that's ever happened.
Sure.
But moderate liberal who, you know, bombed the Middle East in the Stone Age and drone strike people to oblivion, but won
Yeah.
a Nobel Peace Prize. So,
Mhm.
I mean, riddle me that. But,
Yeah.
you know, there's backlash, always going to be strong, you
Mhm.
know. Come in with populism, you know, blame an easy target, you know, immigration, you know, Muslims, stuff like that,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. But I think that, you know, the counter really dropped the ball in the way that they handled all this. I mean, um, you can't really expect to scream and call people racist and stuff like that, and then expect them to come to your point of view.
Right.
You know, you create all you do is you create people entrenching themselves furthermore into their view,
Mhm.
and then you know the people they're close to see the way you treated them. They don't even know anything about politics. They're just gonna go with their friends. You know,
Exactly.
that's obviously an extremely simplified case. You
Mhm.
know, I'm not gonna blame the other side for the victory, but you know, like let's be real. You know,
Yeah.
that's not a mature way to handle these things.
Exactly.
You know, like
Um.
you don't scream at people and then wonder why they didn't come to your birthday party.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. How do you think that conversation can be improved?
Oh man, dude, I don't know.
And
That's
it's all right
tough.
to say you don't know.
That's tough because I mean, for the first time in my life, I was called a spick by someone on a Pokemon form of all places for being
Whoa.
half Hispanic. You know, and you go look at his page, and he's, you know, all about Trump. You know, of course, my dad, being Mexican, big fan of Trump too. Um,
Hmm.
but like, you know, I think people choose to not hear the things that are bad. You know, like go up to a giant Obama fan and let him know that he drone strike the Middle East in the fucking Stone Age. You
Right.
know, let him know that he dropped more bombs than any other president. You
Right.
know, like he ran wars that weren't actual wars.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, we were at war with these countries, but not technically because we didn't have troops. But
Sure.
we were still killing their people left
Mhm.
and right. You know, like, you know, no one wants to hear about Obama doing that. It's like Justin Trudeau. You know, people want to act like Justin Trudeau is like a great icon for LGBT rights and stuff like that because he wore rainbow colored socks.
Mhm.
But he sells weapons to, you know, one of the most anti LGBT regimes in the Middle East.
Mhm.
You know, he sports them with weaponry.
Mhm.
You know, to people who like throw gay people off of towers
Yeah.
for being gay. You know, but you know, ooh, let's move to Canada because their money smells like maple, and you know, it's so much not here. You know, when their immigration is even stricter than the U.S.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so like, you know, people don't want to hear what they don't want to hear. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a tough situation, and
Mhm.
if I had the answer, I would probably not be sitting in my room. I would be solving problems.
Right. Uh, on a little bit of a lighter note, because although I always wade into these areas, I try and I've been lately trying to lift it back up near the end, which is what makes you happy.
Oh, my kids, man. You know, my girlfriend having a good day makes me happy. I go to movies alone. You know, I know it sounds selfish, but that's something I really enjoy. A big old plate of perfectly cooked ribs. I mean, I'm a simple guy, man. Nailing a solo, having somebody scream how hot I am. You know, I'm easy to please, dude.
I like it. Those are all great things.
Yeah.
um, and then lastly, uh, what advice do you have for people?
In the realm of guitar, man, learn how to practice And the best way to practice is to learn the songs you want to play. And if you're not good enough, learn easier songs. And just don't give in to the temptation of thinking you're good. Don't ever do that. It's okay to know your value, but don't ever think you're good.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. Or else Dunning-Kruger comes in and
Dunning-Kruger creeps in. Dunning-Kruger can fuck you up for months, years. It can be bad. Ask our friend Brett Landry how bad it can be. He wouldn't know because he's stuck in the middle of it.
That name is there, and I will let it be there. But yeah. Ted, thank you for doing this.
Hey, no, anytime.
Where can we find you and your things, or if those aren't there, what do we have to look forward to come from your magical fingers?
Oh, no, don't say that. But the Aberrant Construct EP is on Spotify and Apple Music. I wrote a lot of the music for that album. I didn't record any of the rhythm tracks, but you can hear one of my solos on, I think, the second to the last song. There's another one of my solos actually towards the beginning of the record, but there's something weird that happened with a tempo adjustment that I'm not sure why happened. So I'm not very happy with how that one sounds. But the record is out there, and I'm not going to comment on anything further. But if you wish to listen to it, it's Aberrant, Aberrant Construct. Yeah. And it's called scaphism, which is the old Persian method of torture and execution of being tied into a boat and allowed to be eaten by bugs and sepsis and all kinds of gross things. So it's pretty hardcore. As far as new bands, been jamming with some guys for something that may be a little more technical called cryomesis. It's a made-up word that we pretend means to vomit your guts out in space. Your frozen guts out in space.
Right.
And maybe some possible solo stuff. Paul Oz and I are planning on doing a cover of Stab Wound if I can ever get it under my fingers completely. And hopefully something more,
Yeah.
If you want to hit me up for lessons, you can find me on Thick Boy Guitar. That's with 2 C's. Yeah. And also, if you are interested in any fitness supplements.
Oh yeah.
I'm a total athlete at Total Nutrition, and you can find me at Ted Tamayo on Facebook and hit me up, and I can get you $10 off.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how comfortable you are saying it, but I'm comfortable saying it. Ted has been getting swole, and he's looking hot as hell.
Well, thank you.
And talk a little bit about that. What made you just start just going at it?
So really what happened is I saw a picture of me from Thanksgiving in 2015. And I was like, what the fuck is that thing sitting there at that table? My face was so round. And I just had large man breasts and a giant gut. And my XL shirt was screaming for mercy. And I was just like, is that really what I look like? And I really looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, Jesus, that is really what I look like. And I got on a scale, which of course I'd been scared of for years, and it's at 265, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm 35 pounds away from 300 pounds. I have got to do something.
Right.
So the first thing I did is I got on paleo. I saw Chris Pratt, he had been almost 300 pounds. He's a lot taller than I am too. So he didn't look nearly as bad, but I saw he did paleo. So I did paleo for about a month and a half, strict paleo. I didn't have any artificial sugars. I had nothing that wasn't paleo.
Right.
I think I lost a solid 20 pounds in the first month.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was nuts. And I was eating, dude. I was eating so much. Burgers cooked in butter, lots of veggies. I would eat a ton of food, and I would just be hungry all the time for the first month, and I would just eat. I was eating whatever. Um, After that, I kind of moved more towards a generalized low carb diet.
Sure.
It's not like super low carb. I don't go into like ketosis or anything, although I'm sure I have done it occasionally, but not ever by design, just by accident, just by, how I eat, not planning to go into ketosis. So for someone like me, my height, my weight, I would have to get less than 20 grams of carbs, and I wouldn't even be able to have my protein shake. Because I take 4 scoops a day. That's something like 30 carbs or something like that. So, I was doing generalized lowish, moderate carb diet. And I decided, hey, this is going pretty well. How about I get a gym membership and I do some cardio? Started doing cardio, and I would just get on the treadmill. What was the treadmill? It was what's called an arc trainer, which is kind of like an elliptical, but moves your feet in an arc instead of an ellipsis.
Okay.
It actually burns more calories than an elliptical or a treadmill. So I would do that, and I would hop on it. And I've actually always, even in the Army, I have a great story. I got moved to headquarters. I gained a little weight when I was a headquarters platoon, and I got moved back into a line unit before we deployed. So back with like real soldiers and not desk jockeys. And I was a little chubby, I wasn't nearly as bad as I, got out of the Army. But, we did what's called A, B, C group runs. A group is people who do something like 12 to 13. And then it's like a 14. B group is like 14 to 15. And then C group are people who are barely passing. You have to run the minimum for 18 to I think the bracket is 18 to 23, maybe 24. It's something like you have like 16-minute 2 mile, 8-minute mile basically. So I at the last PT test got like a 13:40, something like that. Pretty good. I think it was 100. It was more than 100% on the run score. Running was always my best thing in the Army. So we go do this AB group run, and platoon sergeant's like, hey, get in your groups. So I go and I get an A group, because I run like A group. And he yells at me, he's like, hey, get over here, Tamayo. What are you doing? I know your friends over there. You need to get over here. So he brings me over to his group, and then he puts me at the front because he thinks I'm going to be the slow guy. So I'm the slow dude who runs to the front, sets the pace for the platoon, for the running group, and then you put the slowest guy up front. So I was like, really? This guy thinks I'm slow. So we go, and I take off, and I'm going, and about a minute or two, I hear an exhausted, Tamayo. Turn around and wave, probably like 600 meters behind me. Like it's way back. I see my struggling platoon sergeant. He's like, Tamayo, slow down. Catches up, and he puts me, and he's like, why don't you get to the end of the formation? So we're running. About 5 minutes go by. I look at him and I was like, hey, Sergeant, next time can I run an A group? And he's like, yeah, tomorrow you can. So we get back, and he's like, you know what, tomorrow I really like your 2 mile run. It's like, well, thank you, Sergeant. And, that's actually, I got a nickname in the Army. We all had G.I. Joe names. My buddy got unfortunately stuck with Snow Job, but I was cross country because of my running.
Okay.
So we all got G.I. Joe names. So yeah, anyways, getting back to it, I would just hop on the arc trainer and I would go for 30, 40 minutes. I could go, and I could actually go more than that if I wanted to, but that was, at this point it was like 400 calories, something like this, So I'd get off because I'd be getting hungry. So I would do that, and I think I lost another like 15 pounds. Yeah. And this is about the time I played the diamond with Aberrant. I hadn't quit yet. And, people were noticing, asking me all these things about, like, I lose weight, blah, blah, blah. And I told them, and the low, moderate carbs, stuff like that. And I start, doing more research. I get, how can I maximize what I'm doing? What can I do? But I find out that lifting weights, while it may not burn as many calories, actually burns fat better. And it makes you burn fat throughout the day after you get done working out, too. So I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll start lifting weights. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I just get a 3-day full body workout, or 3-day, 3-day a week full body workout. And so I do this, and I kind of learn. Planet Fitness has got machines and not very many heavy weights, and that's kind of where I've been going. eventually I'm going to have to move up because my weight's getting more than they actually have at the place. But it was a great learning environment. You know, not a lot of people are lifting weights at Planet Fitness. It's mostly cardio machines.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I spent probably 3 months on this 3-day full body workout.
Mm.
And I had already turned 30 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I started firming up a little bit, you know, stuff like that. And I start researching, how do I maximize this? So if you notice, it's never just jumping right in and doing it all.
Mm-hmm.
It was a gradual
Right.
journey and like exploration. So I was like, how do I maximize what I'm doing? Learned about splits, learned about maximizing your weightlifting routines. And I decided I needed to start maximizing my intake, my protein intake and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned I need to get about 200 grams of protein a day, which is really difficult at 1,800 calories a day. I basically cannot screw up, or I will not have the calories to get the rest of my protein, and I'll have to do like extra cardio. So like, got shakes from like Target, you know, and I decided, you know what, I want to get a higher quality protein shake. So I finished that Planet Fitness one day, and I kind of walked over to the nutrition shop. It's called Total Nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
Big guy there named Trey. He's really cool. He looks like a black Conan. He's got really cool hair. He's just really neat guy. Super nice, super friendly. Kind of walked me through all the supplemental needs that I needed. So, and he had me step on this thing that measures your body fat percentage and all this stuff. And I was still at like 30%, which is still obese. So I was a little, you know, off put by this. But he's like, you know, your muscle mass is really good though, so you don't look anywhere near 30%. You know, like. You know, why don't we get you started on some of these things? He's like, how old are you? I was like, I'm 30. He's like, you're 30? I was like, yeah, I'm 30. He's like, you look like 27. And I was like, oh, well, thanks. But he recommended getting on like a testosterone booster, which I think I mentioned before when we were eating. So a testosterone booster and a good quality protein shake. So I started on first those two things. Now the testosterone booster really changed my life, man. I'm gonna be on this thing the rest of my life. Like, you know, you're talking massive muscle gains. You know, like huge muscle mass. My shoulders got broader, my neck got all weird and muscular. You know, and like my veins started popping out. My libido went through the roof, dude. It was nuts. I mean, it's tapered off a little bit, but it's still way higher than it's ever been in my entire life. Like even more than when I was like 17. It's completely bonkers and ridiculous, you know. And it's also like a mood enhancer too. Like the low test actually affects a lot of men. Even before you start hitting like 27, 28, and it starts affecting people like 23, dude. And I think that's for a lot of like depression issues, especially among young men, comes from is just, you know, low testosterone. You know, so the testosterone booster actually kind of got me out of a lot of funks and stuff. You know, I still get depressed, still get sad.
Sure.
You know, but it's never as severe as it used to be, or as long lasting, you know. Performance in the gym increased, performance in like, you know, bed increased, all kinds of just like awesome stuff, which is coming out of taking this supplement, you know. And I'm not trying to sound like a salesman. I'm really not, you know, but it was really that good.
Right.
You know, it was that much of an improvement in my fitness. So been on that for a few months, and then been on a really good regimen of lifting weights, and the muscle just started coming. I'm getting more muscular, firming up more, belly's getting slimmer, you know, like also like it's got some anti-aging effects. People, I shaved my beard because I don't know if you remember, I used to have a really big beard, and I used to have a beard to hide my double chin. You know, don't have the double chin. I decided to shave. You know, I shaved at work and came in, and people kept asking me like, you know, how old I was. You know, like I've grown a little bit of fur now, so I look my age, I think. But like if I shave completely off, people think I'm like 19 or 22. You know, like one of my friends at work had no idea I was 30 years old. He thought I was 25. You know, like he really honestly thought I was 25. You know, so like it's a great product. It was a great thing for me. It's actually got me considering if I can get my body fat down even more, competing in an amateur bodybuilding competition. Obviously, I can't get up there with people who've been doing it for years and years and
Sure,
years. But they do have an amateur circuit, which is for people who haven't been doing it for very long. Mostly
Right.
people, stories like me who've lost 70, 80 pounds, and have gotten into the fitness lifestyle.
Yeah.
So, like, I was thinking about doing stuff like that at 30, like, it's like, this has been awesome. Like getting in shape has really made my life a lot better. I can keep up with my son a lot more, I'm strong. I've got a huge back, like it's just great. It was awesome. And if I can help anybody in any way, I'd love to. And again, I can't say that I'm a fitness expert or a nutrition expert. I can just tell you the things that worked for me.
Yeah.
And one of those things is that potatoes are really bad for you, but they're delicious.
Yep.
But like, yeah, so that's basically all that.
I'm really happy for you. I'm really proud of you. It's not like I get to be proud of you, but either way, I'm proud of you.
No, man.
Yeah. Thank you again for doing this with me.
Oh yeah, of course.
Once again, I'm Santiago Ramones, and you say your name because I'm gesturing at you, but audio.
Tamayo.
And now I do my plugs of things. You can find everything that I do on my website, santiagoramones.com. I make music. I have this podcast. You can listen to this podcast on my website, on YouTube, on the podcast app, and on Stitcher. You can leave reviews. You can comment on stuff. And then you can listen to my music, which is all on my website. And the stuff that's on my Bandcamp, you can pay $0 for or $100 for. I don't care. But my music is on there. I always end my podcast with my 3 things. They shape my life philosophy. Those 3 things are: love never fails. It's going to be okay. I might be wrong.